going to be about the question on your application that asks you about, did you have a job and earn wages where you did not pay Social Security taxes or was not covered under Social Security, which is the same thing as saying you didn't have them withheld or you didn't pay them later, such as if you're self-employed. And for people who work for a pension with a government, local, state, federal, who did, sometimes those jobs did not have you also pay Social Security if you're paying into pension. And this is where there's going to be a little, it's not even really a glitch so much, but people really hate it. This is where that WEP offset can come in if you did have extra wages that Social Security wasn't paid on. And there's a logical reason for the WEP. That's a windfall elimination provision, as well as the GPO, government pension offset. So I just want to alert you to the fact that that is where they're going to get the initial indicator of whether there's going to be a pension offset for a government pension upon which the income you never paid Social Security taxes, and that you'll be getting or are getting a pension. They also, well, I'll go into it here. When you go there, and if you click on that, when it says, what is this? Because they give you little links when you're in the application where you can ask if there's a question. It's not really if there's a question, is if they think you want to know more about why they're asking this question, they actually provide a little link to more information on the SSA site. So what that link says, so I pressed it to see what it would say for somebody, since I was in there, and my guy does not have pension of that sort. So it doesn't even implicate my case, but it often, enough times it does. They go on to tell you an employer who is not required to withhold or deduct Social Security taxes will not withhold FICA or OASDI, that's Old Age Survivor Disability Insurance Benefits, OASDI, taxes from your earnings. If you worked for a federal, state, or local government agency, a nonprofit organization, or an employer in another country who did not withhold Social Security taxes, any pension or annuity you receive from that employer is based on what we call non-covered earnings. This means that those earnings are not covered under the Social Security Act, which also means then you're not going to get credit for having paid SS taxes on them, so your SS has to be lower. Capish? All right. If you did work for non-covered earnings, your Social Security benefits can be reduced in one of three ways. And this is where they get into it. The first, called the windfall elimination provision, may apply to your own Social Security retirement or disability benefit if you are currently entitled to a pension or annuity based on non-covered work after 1956. Then they provide a lovely link to a PDF called Windfall Elimination Provision, where you can learn more about it. The second is called the government pension offset, which may apply to Social Security benefits payable to you as a spouse or a widow. For more information, go to that PDF called Government Pension Offset. But going back to it, this question, which is on every application that goes in online and also paper, is what they're getting at. Now, if you make a mistake, I'm pretty sure they got their fingers in the pots of all the agencies, and they'll find out about the pension. It comes in through IRS reportings and everything else anyway. But if I were you, make sure you know the answer and do it right. That way, there's not going to be a huge amount of error later. There's not going to be a big gap of time where suddenly you're surprised at this WEP and now you have an overpayment. Try to be as accurate as possible on that. So, but you can always click on those little links within the application process to learn more about what they're talking about when they ask a question. And that's what this one is about. And it was funny because that I even took note of it this time but someone was recently excoriating the fact that there's the WEP. I suspect this person was subjected to the WEP and felt like it was theft. And that was actually on one of the YouTube videos and one of the comments. And I was trying to explain, like, to me, it's kind of obvious why there's a WEP, but I know some people don't get it or don't want to get it. It's very, very logical, and math-wise, it's proper, to some extent or another. Windfall elimination provision. It's called windfall elimination for a reason, because without it, somebody would be getting a windfall compared to all the other workers in the country. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to share about that particular piece of the application, as well as a little bit on protective filings. I guess I can put them together in one video. We'll see if I split it up. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye. Hey, so I just heard that another video is being attached here that pertains to the subject matter of the video you just watched. So if the shoe fits and it's of interest to you, feel free to stick around. Talk to you later. Bye.
Good evening. I just wanted to go over some explanations as to how our primary insurance amount is determined for whatever Social Security we're going to get when we become retired, or if we get to take it without penalty because we're disabled early. And I'm bringing this up specifically because of the people that get subjected to the windfall elimination provision. It creates a lot of bitterness, and people think it's a penalty, and they don't really understand what it was about and why it's happening to them. And they didn't know that it was going to happen. So it's a little bit of a great disappointment when they see their Social Security amount that they thought they were getting reduced. So basically, here's how it goes. The Social Security Administration uses a formula, and it is applied to the income that they know about that we earned over our lifetime as a general rule. So what income do they know about? They know about the income that we paid Social Security taxes on over our lifetime, whether that's because we were self-employed and we paid it, or because we were a W-2 employee and our employer withheld from our paycheck the amount that we pay, and also paid its own payroll taxes. The employers actually pay out of their own pocket for half of what we owe. Okay, so just by way of example, you need to know that lower income lifetime earners are going to get a higher percentage of whatever they earned per month on average as their insurance amount later that they're going to get for retirement. A higher income earner is going to get less. Okay. So by way of example, I did a couple calculations here. A person with a $2,000 lifetime monthly average earnings, it's actually average indexed monthly earnings, AIME, but just think of it as the average monthly earnings. So a $2,000 a month person, that's what the average turns out being over those years. He's going to get an insurance benefit amount, a retirement amount that's about 62% of what his average was per month. So, that's akin to some other insurance plans. That amount for him would be about $1,233, $1,234. Let's say the guy that made an extra $1,000 a month on average, so he's a $3,000 lifetime average monthly earner. He is only going to get about 52% of his average $3,000 income for his Social Security retirement benefit. For him, that's going to be about $1,553 a month. But it's 52% as opposed to the 62% that the $2,000 earner is going to be getting. Now let's look at a $5,000 average lifetime earner. He is dropping now to 44%. He's not going to get 52% like the lower income guy, nor is he going to get 62%. Either one of those. He's going to get about 44%. For him, of course, it's going to be almost $2,200. Okay, so what happens is when someone gets Social Security because they did have a Social Security paying job at some point, enough to become insured for retirement. That's about 10 years worth. It might not be a lot, but they get something, right? So if it turns out that what the Social Security knew about that job that they had for at least 10 years, they don't have a super high Social Security, but they do get something, Social Security comes to find out that that person actually did have a big, huge other job that they never paid Social Security taxes on. Instead, that job being governmental offered a pension instead. So they're getting a pension based on the hard work they did, but didn't pay Social Security taxes on. So they're not really that low lifetime average monthly earner that the Social Security thought they were, which is why they would feasibly have gotten a 62% percentage of their Social Security benefits, because that was all they're feasibly going to have in retirement. Once it's determined that they were not the poor worker, they're not going to be entitled to that kind of calculation that gives them the 62%. It is going to be recalculated under the windfall elimination provision, which applies to individuals who are getting a government pension on a salary or income that they did not pay Social Security taxes on. That's all it's about. It's a different formula because you don't get that social welfare benefit of sorts that the lower income earner is going to get to boost up his retirement from, really low to at least something a little bit higher. I'd say 62% or somewhere higher than the higher income guys. That's the reason for the WEP. Okay, because lower income individuals over their lifetime need a little bit higher percentage in order to keep them off the streets. The pension guy doesn't need that. So that little welfare boost of up to 62% shouldn't really apply to him if you think about it. It's troubling. I know when you expected to have a higher Social Security amount and you're not getting it, but I think it's important that people know why. It's not a penalty. It really is a correction because you weren't supposed to have that boost to begin with. Okay. It was really meant for the poorer people. Okay. Thank you so much. And hope you have a great holiday. Bye.